much. Again, this is going to be hopefully quite a pleasant game of Bank. Again, there's a lot of default utility and default strats. I think obviously a masterclass in that if you want to watch that VOD from earlier. First game of the day. Really lovely Bank action with a lot of these very different ways you can approach it, to be honest. From the get-go, though, standard bans coming out. Nothing too shocking there, Hap.
I mean, I know the Ace definitely has their uses here, but the Hibana would also be quite useful for those hatches. There we go. Forcing to use can openers now, the heart breach gadgets that are brought by some of these operators. No necessarily need to bring Thermite here, considering the fact that, well, he has 2 extra thermic charges. The heart breach charges also come per 2. So you can still do the exact same thing, because of course we will be headed towards lockers and CCTV first. Where else would we go? Actually, before we get going in this matchup fully, you were talking about how much you love Italian food. I share this love.
Yes.
You had a pizza yesterday.
Yes.
What did you eat today?
Pasta, actually.
Yeah, there we go. That's fine.
Yeah, pasta with this like tomato and vegan chicken situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Why?
How was the pizza yesterday? No. I was just asking. It's just, you know.
Why does this feel like a trick?
That was not a trick.
Feels like a trick.
I'm just being interested in your food that you've had.
It's mostly been Italian vibes actually this weekend.
Yep. Well, tomorrow you have to go for another dish then, the 3 for 3.
I do. It might be a bolognese or something, I don't know. Good intentions, well. Lovely extension, reinforcing the double door there as well. That's off a few sight lines, so it gives Krex a lot to play around, and again we've seen Krex be so phenomenal since this roster has been created. Really keen and eager to get back on the horse and back into that prime, so let's see what he can do. He is a menace. I'm expecting him to cause a lot of problems for DYA.
Why are you giggling already? Nothing happened yet. As the first minute's about to pass, you have it. Open areas now confirmed. Clear the drone is giving away that information to the rest of the team as well, which means that momentarily it is going to be flooded by the DFOLE players. Just making sure to have that all under control. Taking out the cameras as well that of course come with it. CSK just holding tight in the actual... Oh, the bees come through. Forced to drop because of it. Otherwise he would have been spotted. And as such, he is no longer around on that middle floor as well. Oh! Devils decided to go for a bit of a swing and lost his life for it. And this is now problematic because one of those hatches hasn't been opened up, and he's also not caught by the hatch that they did manage to find already. Because Maritz was too busy with opening up the desks. So a free kill all the way back towards the side as well, finds himself inside a vault, and that means that that warden will live. You might wonder, okay, but why warden? Like, why is that important? Well, you know, if any flashes, which aren't there, smoke grenades, which aren't there, or other visually impairing devices will be coming through in this push, which are there, they still might be able to get some good use out of it. Plus the nitro cell.
Plus in the hands of Venoms as well. Again, very capable player in his own right. Gopher trying to find something on the hatches. Isn't going to find an inkling, I don't think, though. Again, positioning looks very, very good from good intentions. Nice spread as well. Nice even spread. With Oscar kind of lurking more towards that vault side of Krex as well. And again, garage pressure being established there by drills. But DYA, they're struggling to put the feelers out here. What's going to happen? Does deal with Krex. That's big. That's huge. Maritz as well. Dealing with Oscar. Elder getting it as well. The cleanup coming through right now. Good intentions. Looking a little bit sloppy here, but Drills is there to deal with Skyfer. Plants going down. Will it be denied? I don't think it will be. C4 being tossed out. Little bit of damage, but it's not enough. Drills dealing with Maritz. 2 versus 2. Good intentions. Securing it by time alone. DYA, a really nice start to that execute, but they couldn't commit to the plant.
Yeah, just stalling long enough, and then Nitro came in, forcing off the actual plant, and at that point it was a 2-on-2 with 2 players still roaming around. You just couldn't commit to that plant again. There wasn't any position to do so. They had to focus and chase those kills. They're just a little bit too slippery, weren't quite able to get themselves in a position where they could find those kills, and thus Good Intentions, by the skin of their teeth though, will take that first round away from them, because it was a very good execute initially from DYA. Just lost all their steam as soon as they were on the side.
And if anything though, that should have kind of alerted Good Intentions a little bit, that they need to wake up a little bit. When it comes to being quick on the draw, you put a bit more respect on DYA's name right now. Out a lovely collection of util on their side as well. We've got, of course, the Captain's Owl. That's very useful when you're applying on those windows, when you're trying to contest towards Janitor, you're trying to contest and get that plant in. The Firebolt can be very useful, the smokes can be very useful. The Osa as well, again, especially when it comes to that Skylight push, if you've got those Talon shields, it does give you a nice safety point to work from. Again, remember that kind of classic default shield that people use sometimes outside Janitor just by stock. You can kind of use it to contest the same angle, but on the attack, essentially. You're contesting down towards Janitor, down towards Lobby, and as Maratz is now wonderfully displaying for us, it can also be used very nicely on the windows if you want it as well. It gives you a nice little information point to work from. He is indeed going to be contesting Janitor nice and early, and this is a great start. This is a good start for DYA. Putting the feelers out. We got Axel already below as well in Archives. Intentions. Get closer to sight this time. No silly shenanigans. Don't put it past them to not suddenly go for a crazy rotation in the mid-round, though.
Mirror window is going to be problematic there, Grace. Because again, it is placed in Janitor. They need to clear out that player, because otherwise Venom is just going to be feeding all that information. Like, is the plant happening? Where is it happening? You can guide those Nitro cells as a result for it. Now, luckily for them, actually he has to walk over towards the rotation. It's currently being covered by one of those players as Drills actually just removes Devils from the map. Clean headshot coming through. And even though there is top square pressure, there is pressure coming in towards the actual site itself. Plant is looking to be closed in, is looking to be placed as well, but that Nitro cell of Venom is absolutely crucial here. If he manages to get that over and take that shield away, suddenly Marriage doesn't have the safety anymore for the plant race.
This is where you've got to be very mindful and very careful on the side of DYA. I don't know if we might see a drop down from Trex at some point. No, what we are going to see is his body drop. Axel dealing with him. Venom's aware of the utility being sent in. Oscar gets one onto Aldo there. Good to see Maratz trying to tempt the plant. Axel is holding him from the back, making sure no pressure can come from Janitor. Really may come down to throwable utility if people can get the right angle, the right position. It's difficult though with Skyfer outside on the rappel as well.
Scyther is the real troublemaker here. The Nitro cell pops off, but just too late. Maratz gets down. It's an effective 2-on-3. They know one is top squared and no one's on the rappel outside. There's no way they can get Maratz back up. So they're trying to push this man out, but instead they feed a kill towards him and he gets downed. It's only up to Scyther now in a 1v2. Someone's just gonna have to jump out the window. Hope for the best as the long arm is attempted by Venom. This will force him to actually rappel in. There's no other way he can get this. As the smoke is out there, the rappel comes in. He takes the damage and gets down. Good Intentions. Steal the round away from DYA. And round 2 goes their way.
That is that difficulty, the difficulty of that plant sometimes. If you're planting just in the breach like that, again, it's a very old school kind of way to approach that site. A lot of people prefer to just kind of play more around the windows in bulk, shall we say. It's a lot of reliance on Skyfer to be able to get the right angle to deny things. And if people are able to clear Skylight, there's pretty much an easy way in to just sneak in and hold that defuse. In this instance, of course, he heard it. But he couldn't quite get the angle. And then in that instance, it's like, okay, I'd have to jump in. They know that he's going to jump in. There's enough bodies to cover for it. Really unfortunate. Again, good job from DYA. They were going through the motions. They started everything well. It's just then everything fell apart very quickly in that post plant. So I think we're already seeing some really nice collapses being attempted. We're seeing, a commitment to the plant there. They got the plant down. It's just in those final moments they're kind of dropping the ball a little bit.
It means they're close to getting these rounds. And that is quite crucial as well. I mean, of course, 2 of them have gone away, but how often have we seen that the first 3 are won by the defense just for the attack to slap back and win 3 in a row with complete dominance? So, if they manage to figure out what exactly is going wrong and that they will, adapt to it, they can find themselves still in a pretty decent half here.
Very curious to see what Rex is going to do on the Oryx. Potentially, Rati plays coming out, and I'm here for it. I want to see more of that. I feel like we haven't seen enough of that given, again, these best of ones. It allows people right now to be a bit more goosey-goosey, a bit more experimental about things because of the fact that there's no eliminations occurring in this group stage. Of course, being on the Oryx, it means that he can kind of come up like a little meerkat through those hatches if he wishes to. Maybe he himself is waiting for that kind of little backstab that happens a lot when it comes to this site, people pushing their way up the marble stairs. It's just not happening. Instead, no pressure on the top floor means that verticality is going to be established nice and swiftly by Marats. They have a lot of this horizontal control as well. Correct.
So the thing is, like, your vertical control here is helpful, of course. However, it doesn't lock out the complete site, and that's always the worry, especially if you're trying to get control of the kitchen area, of the dining area. People can still play around safely there. There's plenty of places to hide behind the cracks. Just mentioned it before, Little Meerkat has the opportunity to jump back up. I think he's going to do exactly that when this execute is starting to come through. There he comes. He's hopped up. That's 1 kill for his efforts. That's a second. No, he gets shut down. But his teammates are already doing something at least to bring it back in. It's a 3-on-3 now and no longer a man disadvantage for the side of good intentions. Castle barricades still on the door. Drills finding a kill onto Devils as well. And he now knows someone's upstairs and they're trying to hunt it, but that goes horribly wrong as well. It's just up to the Monte now into a 1v3 situation. And with 20 seconds left, well, time might just run out as Drills hops over the fencing, but the barricade gets removed from behind him. And the round will end like that with a 3-0 so far for the side of good intentions. Completely playing around DYA.
And again, it's the little things like this. It's the experimental side. Okay, we're going to hunt it down on site, but one of us is going to be basement on the Oryx. We're going to have that cheeky backstab. Yes. You can get a pick and then be shut down, but then the rest of them go hyper aggressive. It's as expected. Good intentions playing the way we expect them to play. For DYA right now, maybe we have a little pause, but again, it's this idea that they're not really doing anything so wrong per se. It's just that they need to be a little bit quicker on the draw at times. It's that they need to make sure that they're, getting information and winning gunfights a lot more effectively. Especially in these final moments when it comes to those collapses. They're fine at going for clearance. They're fine at getting themselves a breathing room. Even to the point where we saw a plant in round 2, right?
We did see plant, yeah. They did manage to plant, and they had 2 also shields there, but got denied instantly afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's just holding on to things. CSK gobbing off in chat. I was wondering when that was going to start happening. Gonna get into the heads, into the old mental. Psychological aspect of CJX coming through yet again. Last time they went to this, they decided to drop down into vaults. They came in very thick and fast. They got a lot of breathing space for themselves, but ultimately they could not get that plan down and they'd run out of time. So for DYA, they need to be looking at taking that site control a little bit quicker. We might even see them go a bit more default this time, taking that server push instead of the vaults push. Again, have a play around, work out what you can do here, get the feelers out and start to gauge how it is like to play against Good Intentions.
Drones coming through, of course, the first 30 seconds, and Nitro will be recovered as well. Cracks realizing pressure will be put upon him soon due to that drone coming in. Choosing to play the more safe route is Oscar. Will find the very first, and Good Intentions. There's no intention of stopping the train that they have currently departed on. Server hatch will be opened up. That's going to be at least a little bit of a handle to work with for Good Intentions. The drop through the elevator in the meantime already came through, so it looks like all 5 players of Good Intentions are finding themselves on the site itself. Unless I've missed someone that is currently roaming. No, 1 in garage. I believe 4 near the actual site itself. But everything still needs to be cleared. And the Deimos is currently trying to get some information. He's gonna go for a big swing, but we've seen this go wrong before against that shotgun. Grenades are being tossed in, will force him slightly down the staircase, but it's the opportunity of going back up. The Nitro pops up, the pre-fire's there with the Vendetta, but they're not going to give in, and he's finding himself at the top of the staircase now! The SMG-11 comes in, the shotgun follows up for a down instantly afterwards, and DYA are being completely annihilated. His Venoms will be traded out eventually. With a minute 20 left on the clock, you're attacking basement, and it's a 2-on-4. If you wanted to clear out that mute, you should have gone from the hatch drop, try and push him from 2 sides at the same time, but instead, they've given him 2 1v1s on the top of the staircase. And now they're struggling. There's mirror windows, there's fire, there's going to be nitro cells and smoke canisters flying all at them. There is no realistic opportunity for them to try and go for a plant here. Except for maybe Scyther doing a reverse plant, but even that, you'll just be shot out or nitroed if you try to do so. So they're gonna have to try and dig deep. They're gonna have to try and go for kills. As the Nitro, or not the Nitro, sorry, Cracks just swings by and takes down Arcs. Well, Nitro's team kill comes in, but eventually we'll find Scyther as well. So, you know, that's just collateral damage at that point.
Very uncomfortable in those final moments because Scyther was only kind of covering for 1 peak that could have happened. You know, forcing your kind of teammate to go ahead and get the plant. Maybe Scyther needed to get a little bit deeper there, albeit there was fire on the floor for a while. Toxic Babes being thrown out, as is standard when you're trying to make that collapse and there's that many people alive with that much util. But maybe pushing a little bit forward and trying to cheese it backwards just on the line of that breach. Very uncomfortable so far for DYA. But again, Good Intentions, I will reiterate my point I keep making. This could easily be an EML team. I think that they could easily be just as good as DYA.
I think we have to expand email to 16 teams to fit all your favorite teams.
I agree. I agree with this statement. And yes. But again, it's the fact that, you know, we saw how Rumble went. And realistically, and I will die on this hill. I will absolutely die on this hill. DK winning 3-1. There were moments where it was a bit of an underperformance from Good Intentions and what they can bring to the table. Just as good, just need the mileage. Just need the mileage. Remember, same with DK when they first came onto the scene is this roster. Oh, amazing roster, let's see what they can do. Oh, they've fallen flat because they needed the mileage. Sometimes that's all you need, just a little bit more time. DYA playing against such a big doggy-dog team like this. It's very uncomfortable.
Yet another one falls, and there goes one more. Martz, at least we'll find Oscar after a quick flash, but again, they find themselves in a 2-on-3 situation effectively. Drills gets confirmed, and now it's only up to Merritt. We're a minute into the round, and almost everybody's already gone, and it's not going to take much longer than that. 2 minutes on the clock, and Good Intentions lock off the round already. They wanted to go quick, they tried to change the pace, They get completely punished for it. And DYA just nowhere to be found in this map. And now they're looking against a 0-6 with how things have been going. And I mean, you don't want to be the first 0-7.
No.
You don't want to be 0-7, period.
The more these rounds fall into the favor of good intentions, right, the whole time you're thinking, oh, that mountain is getting higher. That mountain is getting higher and higher and higher. We can't argue, okay, maybe they're like, we'll just put it back on the second half. But if it does get to that 6-0, you're basically doing 6 rounds match back to back where you can't have any mistake at all, or that's it. It's a lot of pressure. Good intentions. I can be feeling very comfortable about this because, again, remember, the start of the night, they were at the bottom of the table. Albeit, it is because they had only played one game, right? But they themselves had maybe a bit of an underperformance on. Not locked in enough, shall we say. So they do need these points. And if they can secure like a 7-0, a 7-1, that is a very good amount of points. That's 3 points, sending them up those table. Putting them into a more comfortable and expected position, shall we say, Hap.
I mean, a 7-5 would also get them the full 3 points. It's just that, you just want to lock this off as quickly as possible. For your own sanity as well. Let this take on longer than you have to. This could be another quick push. Devils instantly in ATMs. Pushing in towards the lobby. Breaking all these soft walls. CSK almost gets caught off guard. I think he still wanted to put a castle barricade out there instantly into the chat as well. As he's trying to, play that mental warfare game. He survived, and he makes sure to let them know. Again, just losing out. That's a boss G to come through. At least the trade comes in from Devils as he's trying to push on close. That was CSK. He saw earlier. Impact grenade will open up a new angle, but Devils doesn't know that there's someone on either side as Drills takes a little bit of damage. He's playing around with that boss G. Oh, gets the down actually, and cracks. I'm not quite sure where he came in from, but gets the secure. At least Drill's low on HP, something they can work with. And as the bees come in, or not quite fully, he gives them the opportunity to start doing a little bit of a push, but there's no real opening to work with. As Cracks finds one before another trade once more occurs. In a 2-3 situation, make that 2-2. Drill still super low on HP. But there's no entrance towards the site, which is that big problem. Luckily, with 90 seconds, there is time to still create one. The diffuser is also down inside of Tellers, and it has to be recovered first. You just do not know what you're meeting there. Actually, it might be even in the front office of Tellers. So are you going to go for kills instead? They know about one of these players, but do they know about the second? As a can opener gets used on the castle barricade. And with 1:10 left, I mean, you can go for kills. You definitely can go for the one person that is in sight. But after that, you do need to find Drills as well, and he's hiding pretty well. He's also the Vigil, so drones are not as effective on him as they otherwise should be. As he's playing in the Becca's side, the pre-fires are starting to come through, nothing quite connecting as of yet, but that boss G only needs a single opportunity to strike and down a player. As the Keeper barricades are being destroyed, the swing comes in from Venom, and he finds both in good intentions. 6-0 in this first half. As he takes the initiative and brings the fight towards them when they expected it the least.
That's precisely it, Hap. 6-0. Filthy action from good intentions. But again, a really big factor there. You touched on it, right? You've got the Vigil. Yes, very low health. Drones will be able to spot him out. However, DYA, they had no info. They had a drone top square. They had a drone bottom square. It wasn't the right things they needed. They had to go in blind. They had to go in face checking. We saw such a massive utility investment from the Grim just because of the fact, okay, I need to make sure that if someone's around this corner, I at least get maybe a vague idea of where they're going to be because I can force them a little bit wider as I take the swing, but Venom's was just there. Venom's was just there. Good intentions, incredible stuff. Could this be a 7-0 Because again, it's not just the points hap, it's the round differential as well. If you're able to end up at the, you know, the kind of first, second place and you've got the same amount of points as someone else, but you have a few more rounds, that certainly is a benefit when it comes to the seeding in those playoffs.
A Kali being brought. It's not every day you see this.
We'll see if it gets stuck. I love it if it is, though. But again, I think...
yeah. Give the repick still.
Yes. I think site-dependent. But we'll see. It could just be CSK feeding himself, to be honest. Because, again, we've seen the all chat. I think we've all witnessed that with our own 2 eyes. And CSK could just be about to clip farm. Like it's nothing. Which is a little bit BM of him. But... I respect it.
I'm just more worried there's no Twitch or anything like that. Like, I want him to deal with the utility that's on site. And with the way how things currently look, there's just a single person on site as well, by the way. 2 back alley, 2 alley access spawns, 1 parking front. I mean, they're not gonna rush it. They definitely know there's people around there, though, it seems. Playing quite close to the window. Scyther's gonna go for a little bit of a gander. Are you aware? I don't think they fully are. Definitely making some noise as the Kali is starting to open up towards open area. Scyther has a really big opportunity here if he manages to find that one person, finds drills. Now they definitely know who's playing around here close. And he's holding tight. He knows what his Kali is. He wants to take that fight. He's deciding to rotate off. Not gonna stick around, finds a second through the wall as they just opened it up. Instantly back towards the Kali he wants to find and successfully does so as well. Scyther might single-handedly make sure that it's not going to be a 7-0 as he's trying to go for a bit of an ace, but he's on 1 HP, needs to still win 2 more fights. It's going to be tough and Venom will shut him down 4-2. I don't know about a person downstairs, it's a Deagle versus the Vendetta. They also still know there is players all around the block. Spots the player, that's unfortunate timing from Venom's there. Moretz takes a shot, instantly swaps over, but a trait comes through. At least a single round on the board. As the basement is won by Scyther, putting up one hell of a performance there. But again, you're kind of wondering, like, isn't this too little too late?
It does feel like that, but at least for the fans, sometimes when you see those nostalgic players pop off like that, it at least warms the heart, right? It warms the cockles. It makes you think, okay, yes, they're 6-0 down. Now 6-1, obviously. But at least we got to see Scyther pull off a play like that. It's not a redemption, but it's still a little bit of joy for us all. Going to CEO now. Into volley. Getting pretty standard. We've got tubs to defend those walls. Bit of smoke action, presumably played from that janitor spot. Diva barriers, nice bit of cover. Really being brought out just to defend these windows. Again, not reinventing the wheel. Going for the motions nonetheless. Very, very intrigued to see where some of the positioning ends up being, though, because maybe Diavoli back against the wall, they might start getting a little bit spicier, a little bit freakier. Again, we saw some really gorgeous stuff from Scyther in that last round. Maybe we see some little rat spots coming through from the rest of them. Oxel. Oh, maybe going for a little bit of a run out. We'll see. Does he risk it for a chocolate biscuit hat? That is the question on my lips.
Maybe he doesn't like chocolate. No. But now he's just sticking around. He's trying to play aggressive. There's no drone coming in from the bottom of square. They will not be aware. There it is. Now they definitely know. Falling back through archives up towards tellers as well. Scyther gets himself found this time early on and Krex gets a kill for his efforts too. And then after such a big round, it just crumbles seconds after. We have to go all the way to the top. Arx is being checked, but finds Krex for his results. Onto 1 HP as he's rotating around. But there's still another person offside as well. I think Devils is finding himself in the ground floor as well as Maretz Misses a couple of shots. And finds himself as the last member left alive on the actual side, is being pressured as well from the side of Janitor, and thanks to a team kill, they bring it back towards a 2v1. Drill's now the last man standing. And such a good round for Good Intentions might just crumble here, but a beautiful headshot is the start of a 1v2 clutch. Just one more left to find, and a minute 30 to do it. Meritz is just a single bullet away as the flashbangs roll in, but the pre-fire from Meritz is there, and DYA live for yet another round.
Played. Really well played there. Very easy to lose your cool in those moments. We saw Meritz immediately being like, okay, 1 versus 1, I need to pull back a bit. I need to work these angles. I know I've got the advantage there. He's coming in blind. Another round, scrap back. Clinging on for dear life right now are DYA, bless them. There's a lot of respect there that you need to put down, to be honest. That they're able to try and sink their nails in, sink their teeth in, hold on to that cliff edge. Good Intentions, a few sloppy mistakes coming through. Perhaps a little bit of overconfidence because they know they're in this very powerful position right now. Match point for as long as they want it, really. Again, maybe things just need to get a little bit cleaner from them so they can finish this now.
I mean, still 4 more opportunities to do so. We're down towards open area now. But again, the last round that should have been theirs, 2 very early kills. Bringing it down towards a 4v2. And then a team kill, you know, kills happening on either side, and suddenly it's a 1v2. These are the kind of rounds that you cannot have at any point. Because, like, okay, you know, you're mentioning it. These guys could be an EML. It should be an email for you. But if you're giving away these rounds too much...
To everyone?
I mean, I'm just saying, if you're giving away these rounds, an email, you'll be punished. And yes, they'll run away with that opportunity. And suddenly you lose your map. You lose your lead.
Yes. You're completely right. You are completely right. It's these things where it's like, okay, just finish the game. Don't get too cocky. Don't start making these mistakes. The diligence factor, perhaps. DYA, I really do have to take my hat onto them, the way that just keeping cool, especially with that all chat popping off every 2 seconds. Correct, dealing with devils as an opening pick. Normal keybers to be thrown out. Assuming there's some placed in various places already, though. Venom's pushing fully horizontal, just on his one. Again, the solo pushes happening from Good Intentions that aren't getting punished is a little bit yikes from DYA. Axel dealing with Krex finally, though. 3 versus 2, still on the back foot, but at least they're making it a little bit nicer to themselves.
And a minute 30 left. Still a lot of work to do, but a lot of utility still in pocket as well. Those Candelas could be very helpful. As the drones roll in, they're aware of the fact that a flank might be coming up through tellers. They manage to isolate that player. Suddenly you're in a 4-2 situation on the site. You have that Montaigne. You use it to the best of your ability here. Gets a pushover and the kill as a result as well. We're back into a 2-on-2 though. With the player still inside of Archives, Oscar finds him. He was being very patient. And Meritz now holding on. For DYA, we'll find one. The plant is cancelled, the nitro cell comes out, but there's the extension as well. Damage is not really done onto Venom. Now he needs to hold off for 40 more seconds, waste time as much as he can. Another plant will be attempted. Is there a drone that will give them the information? The slow will come in from the ice, and Meritz will find a kill as well. DYA by themselves, yet another round.
Really well played there. Again, DYA back against the wall, but they're clinging onto it. They're not allowing themselves to be so disrespected by Good Intentions. If you are going to make these mistakes, if you're going to give us an inch, we will take that mile. Final ban to come out for this half. Maybe some shield, maybe. Oh no, it's the Ying coming out from DFI. Interesting, okay. They don't want to deal with that flash utility, those annoying Candelas whirring through. Good intentions, rightfully so, calling a bit of a timeout just to give themselves a little breathing room. I said this yesterday, I was very concerned that people were going to be a bit too silly sausages and not dig fully deep into their arsenal. It's nice to actually see good intentions calling a timeout here, just to give themselves a little bit more time for that shot call to be like, hey, let's just do this. You know, let's work out what we're doing here because this is getting a bit silly. We've let 3 rounds fall away from us. Perhaps again, due to us being a little bit overconfident. DYA, that's going to give them a nice breather too, to be honest, because again, back against the wall, it's when the adrenaline starts to kick in a little bit. You want to be able to yourself kind of be like, okay, let's be prepared. They're making mistakes. We capitalize a bit more on those mistakes. Again, if they start to solo push, if they're going into these 1 versus 1s, we can contest them a little bit easier if we're just prepared a little bit more for it.
Like Amaretz was blaming the hit wretch, but he's actually shooting the shield through the gaps of the Montaigne. Either way. It's getting closer and closer. And this is the worry here, Grace, because now suddenly it's 3 rounds in a row. DFOD is starting to build a little bit of confidence here. Good intentions, they've had basically full control of 2 of these rounds that just fell away. The only round they weren't in full control of was this basement attack that they've done. So the DYA have a really good opportunity here to push it back to at least 4 rounds on the tally. And then boom, 2 more left, and suddenly you're finding yourself in overtime. You at least take a point away after being 0-6 down, and you have the opportunity to take 2 even. Because that's something to not forget. Good intentions already have that 1 point secured, no matter where we go from here.
Very excited to see how this will go. Looks like they are trying to go for full clearance. Drill's making his way up to the top. CSK starts to wiggle his way in here on the shield. Oh, is he going immediate? Checking. I mean, if blue is free, right? You just start making your way there. Have a little gander, see what you have to deal with, see what you have to contest with. The danger element is, if someone's heard about Monty's shield, that's come through. And again, there's pressure in open area. A rotation potentially could come through here from Arxel. You have to be mindful about it.
Oh, Scyther dropped the hatch and got shot by a player in garage. At least he can be recovered, but it's not an ideal start, and 3 people already finding themselves close towards the actual site itself. Cracks inside of that garage is going to be putting up a little bit of pressure to make sure that they're not really in a great position where they can stop this. But 4 people just running towards garage. Cracks won't be shut down for it. That was the perfect time to get a move on, but the fire stopped them from doing so. That must have been one hell of a call, like 4 people pushing you. However, not able to pick up the slack, not able to pick up the kills. I mean, at least they know that the full top floor is under their control, but they now need to find the kills as well.
They do. They've at least created some breathing space for themselves and rustled for Jimmy somewhat of DYA, but goodness me. DYA immediately all reacting to that one little bit of pressure in carriage is a little bit concerning. CSK sneaking his way in. Venom's beautiful pick there. Planet's going down. No way to contest. No C4 be thrown. Very good. C4 finally going out. He gets it. CSK will fall. But a kit has been picked up yet again. Venom just has to sneak his way in. Contest this. Going in deep. Trying to go for a spray and pray. Devil shuts him down. Great work from DYA. Bill's now left at a 1 versus 4. Can he do it? Uses the smoke as a bit of a cover. That gives the game away also. DYA, great work. Again, slightly concerned by the kind of tunnel vision at a second there, but they were gifted a lifeline by the fact that those Vulcans, that fire spreading across the floor, the collapse couldn't come in. It allowed them to pull back. It allowed them to reposition. Well-timed C4. Sometimes with Bank, that's all it needs, right? That's all you need. And well-timed C4. The rounds in the bag.
And I said it, like, this should be their 4th round for Diavoli. And now, they are 2 away from taking a point away from this matchup. After Good Intentions, they've had so many opportunities to close it off. And now just 2 more. Still, of course, in prime position to do so. Seeing what they can do. We've seen that they've gotten close. Maybe a bit of overconfidence, a bit of haste. That stopped them in their tracks. Stopped them from being as successful as they otherwise could be. So, time to clean it up. Time to make sure that it's been enough. That you're now taking control of this round and thus of the rest of the match.
I want everyone to think of their own hypothesis for this, but I'm just going to put it out quickly. The old chat has gotten a little bit quiet.
Wonder why.
Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Hypothesis must be developed by you all, as to why that may be. Attacking CEO though, double aggressive shield as well, but Blitz Blackbeard. That gives you a lot of spice, a lot of bite on the side of Good Intentions. Again, it's really going to come down to timing. They need to get a jog on.
Oh!
Gorgeous,
that is unfortunate.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
CSK thought he could just walk in there, gets himself taken out, probably still found by the Cameradar 0-0, just raining from above. At least able to remove himself from danger. And Diavoli get themselves the entry pick. Suddenly they're in a really good position. And again, they were 0-6 down. Bringing it back to 4-6. The other shield goes down into a DBNO, but at least gets recovered. Krex finds himself a kill as well, but 2 men dancing on top of the lone desk are finding 2 kills for their efforts as well, or at least could do soon, as Krex still has the opportunity of being recovered. Venom taking loads of shots on that Blitz shield, cannot stand up for the life of him. And cannot even walk forward either, or he might find himself picked up. The Nitrocell deals no damage. Drills at least find Scyther. The stunts come in with the Yokai drones, providing the opportunity to come in for a flank. And Marat shuts him down. Krex and Drills need to finish the job for the team. As Diavoli are starting to fight back. An opening made into the site that they can use to try and push in just a little bit further, but the head is covered behind the money bag. And as Drills runs by, he gets tagged up, he also gets stunned. He's trying to go and play it from the outside. The diffuser, not in their hands, has been dropped. Quite sure where it is, but it is being pinged, so they are aware of it on the defense side. They know they have to go for kills. They know this is not going to be a plant. With these 46 seconds and counting, slowly but steadily, progress is made. Do they know about Maris? The pre-fire's there. No, they didn't fully. He survives. And Drills is last alive. This might be a pseudo-tactical timeout. He's just gonna play around on the roof and see if they need to talk, but as he drops, it's already coming through on stock from the window, shutting him down, and 5-6 is suddenly nearby.
Yeah, great stuff from Diavoli. Again, Good Intentions. I'm shaking my head. Diavoli being able to not only gain that opener, convert it to the round win, again, just by making sure that they're expecting these kind of, again, pretty default pushes. Again, it's not unusual for someone to kind of push from below, so having someone on that extension is always an added benefit. It's just the fact that Diavoli were really struggling because they weren't contesting those kind of solo pushes as much as they should have. Now they've started to do it, and now they are 1 more round away from taking us to overtime.
And that is exactly what they wouldn't want on the side of Good Intentions. They had a full opportunity to take 3 points home and to show that they are here as well. They are here looking to become top of their group and set themselves up for success in the remainder of this tournament. And we're playing seeding games. This is not a knockout game yet. Diavoli really showing their grit here, their persistence, and Good Intentions slowly starting to let things slip. Not going to be happy about this.
Not at all. I think that's actually going to be quite tilting for them, actually. sometimes
Yeah.
when people make a timeout, you're like, okay, they'll get it in the bag now. And, you know, I did think the Contentions were going to convert that timeout, but it just hasn't happened. And again, we can put it down to just sloppy mistakes. We can put it down to overconfidence. Regardless, DYA have locked in now. And that's something Good Intentions need to also themselves realize and kind of prepare for, is the fact that, okay, they are actually waiting for you at this point. They are actually holding those crossfires. They are spread out. They are holding these good positions. Bills, of course, on the Deimos could be a great starting point for Good Intentions if he's able to get this opener. His entry pick, especially on that top floor. Clear a bit of space there. Give you a point to work from. Patience coming out. Krex from ATMs deals with
Crucial.
Axel. Massive. Huge. Of course, Black Eyes will still be in play. They've at least got that opener. Pressure being applied to Elder as well from drills. Venoms can start making his way as that walking drone, that walking door of Montaigne. Applying pressure and again feeding crucial information. Checking corners.
Using the freeze to stop the phone call there. And now a minute left. And Good Intentions, they're just being careful. They know they need to be perfect here because otherwise they are leaving points on the table. And I'm fully convinced that if this goes to overtime, the Evoli are the ones that are taking the victory. Because they've been building momentum. And Good Intentions, they've been losing it. This Devils steps out a little bit too long, takes at least a shot but survives. The drops are coming through and he gets picked up. Finally, a trade at least on the board. And as all tries to comes through, finds one more, retakes tellers, retakes archives, gives them a little bit of security. And it's looking like we might be headed towards overtime here. As the smoke canister is pushing Venom out. It's only up to Oscar now, and he gets shut down as well by the UMP. A double kill to come through. And from 6-0, we are headed towards 6-6, and we'll need at least 14 rounds to decide which of these two teams is going to take the, well, not the full points, but the 2 points at least.
And that's a really important fact to have because we talked earlier about the fact, okay, we got a 6-1 going for Good Intentions, right? It was looking so good. It was like excellent. Full 3 points and added round differential potentially going into their bag. Their bag exploded with the force of 1,000 suns before they could even blink. Devils getting a bit gobby there in the all chat, rightfully so. Send it back their way because they were loud. They were very loud about all chat, and now look at it. Overtime. When you have that much of a lead, when you are a team that's good enough to be in EML. Very naughty business for Good Intentions, dropping the ball like this. But for DYA, it sends a message. It gives them a lifeline. I think they had a massive underperformance yesterday, to be honest. Again, some questionable decisions being made. That first half wasn't looking good for them either, but they've been able to scrap it all the way to overtime now. And you've got to put some respect on that.
Of course, you gotta put a lot of respect on that. And this is what I said, right? Like, it was 06, it was looking like it could have been the first 07. And then you've only picked up a round and another, and suddenly it starts going. And I said it when, you know, they were in a 4v2 situation which turned into a 2v1. And eventually the round lost to the Evoli. When you're in EML, these kind of things will be taken and they will be punished, and you'd lose maps over it. Even here now, in South Breach. You've lost a point already because of it. You might lose 2. So there'll be some very serious looking at that moment in that round, like, okay, we went too quickly. We need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But at the same time, the momentum started building for DFOLI ever since that moment, and they just weren't able to reverse it. First minute past.
actually comes in as well because of the fact that, you know, Arcsort, of course, on this extension, there is an expected extension at this point. He's dropping down early. Okay, that's safety first shenanigans coming out from DYA. That's immediately given so much breathing space for Hands of Good Intentions. In theory, Good Intentions should not dilly-dally here. It shouldn't waste any time. We've got this clearance. Let's just start working towards that server execute. X-Kairos going down will be open nice and swiftly. Not really anything to deny that. But also on that pulse, a lot of information should be fed into the hands of DYA. If you can work out, okay, there's a few people here. What kind of push are they going for? Where's that other pressure gonna come in? If I can see 2 of you, I can try and gauge where the other 3 are gonna be.
Oh. I was going to say someone's playing close on the bomb chassis there. And they need to just challenge this, but the hatch is still closed above him, and that will allow Maritz to continue doing this. And the freeze will be there to allow them just a few more seconds before they're finally forced to fall back, fall off, and let that hatch go. Now they can start denying everything in sight. There comes the ROUs. That should be the cue for a potential push to start coming in. But where are they going to be going from? Because CSK still working on opening things up. 30 seconds left. The ROUs have already popped up. Just a single pellet explodes from the X-Kairos as they're trying to get a line of sight on the mirror windows. But of course, they can just be denied from the side of Vault as Devils takes the hit from CSK. And that is just one of those opportunities that you had to get that plan down. Now with 19 seconds left, there's not that much time. There's not that much utility. There's still fire on the ground that they have to run through, but Venom dies by set fire. And with 9 seconds left, it's just Drills and Oscar left up top, but he misses the cover. And the time is about to run out. DYA, they find themselves on match point.
Goodness gracious me, what is going on? More than the reverse sweep at this point. DYA now taking the lead. And as you just touched on getting that match point, Good Intentions had everything they needed there. They had, again, so much space given to them for pretty much free, right? It was immediately, here's full map control. And all they had to do was get in, set up, collapse. They had the time. Because they had the time to deny any kind of util. They just didn't move quick enough. Too much dilly-dally. A little bit embarrassing right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's the dark side.
Oh no, I have to come to
blaming.
I mean, it's just more like, again, like you touched on, right? They've lost points for that seeding. Maybe they don't care that much. Maybe they don't care that much, but it's like, when you're a team that has so much potential...
Oh, they care, because otherwise they would have continued talking in the all chat like they were.
That is also true. That is a very valid point. But it's frustrating. I've lost the plot. I've lost the plot. I have lost it. Like, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight, and it's Good Intentions' fault.
You still have an opportunity to please make it up to you, but as I said before, if this goes to overtime, the DYA are the ones taking it. They've been building that momentum ever since that, well, basically choke that we saw in that round. And I'm gonna keep mentioning it. From 4-2 in people to being in a 2v1 and not taking it home. Hot drop coming in for Maratz. I mean, they already have control of open areas, so it's not gonna be that full hot drop. As the shield of Scyther is clanking behind them, they know of one in the elevator. And they're gonna send some bees after it to force them out, but a quick swing comes in as CSK decides to step up to the challenge. We'll find Maritz. Very important player as well, has been absolutely showing up big here for DYA. So that kill counts double.
I'm trying to get aggressive on the hatch. Not really what he's holding for. Lots of charges going out. See, this good intentions is how you burn through utility. Cluster charges are going to do fine work of that. Still have to be mindful for those C4s, though. Still have to be mindful for those toxic babes. This is maybe where we get a little bit more pressure coming elsewhere. Might see
the fact that there's a mirror window placed on that wall. Don't have any utility to get rid of it, so they'll be forced to walk through the doorway here, and that smoke's gonna be working for that. Saito getting the plan down, and Nitrocell, is it in time? Whoa, they didn't get the cover, but Saito was out, he's back in. Another set of utility being tossed in, another plant is being attempted, a headshot made by Devils, this could be huge, 45 seconds counting down, this could be the end, but Saito, he gets down himself. It's an effective 3-on-2 situation, make that just Oscar! Last alive, and the leaves are already happening, Krex! He's seen enough! 30 seconds as he tries to clutch, is not coming through, and the Evoli lock it off. 0-6 to 8-6, reverse sweep, thanks to a little bit of a choke on the side of good intentions. And I said it. A little bit? I said it, you cannot do this. You're giving away these rounds, you're giving away games, and that's exactly what they did here.
That was more than a little bit of a choke. That was